Everyone, I hope you're all having a safe and awesome and restful weekend. This video today serves as a review for last week's assignment, Learnkey Microsoft Excel 2019, Session 1, Manage Worksheets and Workbooks. Today, I'm going to demonstrate to you how to complete the post-assessment from Session 1. Let's get started. Now, I have a MacBook Pro, so I do use Parallels, which is what I just did. I switched over to my Parallels program. And what we're going to do is open up your internet. I use Google. Go to the website, www.gmetrics.net, and log in. Now, last week, when I had you log in, you had to go to Start Courses on the left and start a new course. Some of you had to redeem a code, some of you didn't. Ultimately, you clicked on Learnkey, Microsoft Office -200, Excel 2019, 365 Associate. FYI, Excel 2019 is the same as 365, and you can find it in your student portal and you can download it without any additional cost. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to continue from one that I already started before. Now, I sent you all a screenshot of my the one that I did last week, which I did get 100% completion, as well as I also got 100% on the post-assessment. Let me see. I have so many of them open. I'm trying to see. Here it is right here. So, as one more time, the one that we're doing is called Manage Worksheets and Workbooks. This is the one that you had to complete last week, and you had to get 100% on the post-assessment. So what I'm going to do is I am going to bypass all of these because I've already completed them. Just as a brief recap, in order to get the check mark for student workbook, you simply had to click on it. It would have opened up the workbook. Just close that and you would have gotten your check mark. Okay, so let's go directly into the post-assessment. So I'm going to click retake. You're going to get a pop-up window. The pop-up window is basically allowing Gmetrics the permission to run on your device. So let's go ahead and open this up. All right. Now, you probably also got a different pop-up that asked you to download the files, and that's perfectly fine. Those are the files that you need in order to complete the exercises. So let's get started with number 1. It is asking you, the task at hand is open the 111-instructors text file from the Gmetrics templates folder. Indicate that the data has headers, tabs as delimiters. Okay, first of all, it was a very common question last week about finding your Gmetrics templates folder. What you had to do was you had to do a search on your computer to find where it was downloaded. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. So in order to open this file, you have to go to File, and you're going to go to Open. You are going to go to Browse. Now, this is where you had to search for your Gmetrics templates folder. This is mine right here. And I am looking for the instructors.txt file. Now, when you initially open it up, you're going to notice that you do not see that text file. And that is because it's only showing you the Excel files. What you have to do is you have to click on this drop down arrow here and you have to change it to all files. When you do that, you'll notice that the 111 instructors file that you're looking for, and see how it says text document, that's what you're looking for. So you click on that and you click open. You will get a dialog box, and right here, this is where you would click My Data Has Headers, as instructed by the task. Click Next. The delimiters are that it wants you to use tabs, and tabs is already selected, so you simply click Next and finish. And there you have it. That's the end of exercise number 1, or task number 1. Click Next. Number 2, for this worksheet, set the page margins to wide and orientation to landscape. Okay, no problem. What you're going to do is first click on page layout. Next, we're going to deal with the first part of the task, which is changing the page margins. You click on the drop down arrow and you are going to choose wide. Next, the second part of the task was to change the orientation to landscape. So what you're going to do is click on the drop down arrow, click on landscape. And that's it for that question. Number 3, freeze the top 2 rows of the current worksheet. The trick to this one is you will always place, or you would highlight the row below the ones that you have to freeze. So, for instance, I know that I want to freeze the top 2 rows. So what I'm going to do is I am going to select row 3. The rationale behind that is if I select row 3, everything above it becomes frozen. Okay, so click View. You're going to see Freeze Panes. Click Freeze Panes, and then you freeze right here. And it's done. So now when I scroll, and this comes in very handy when you have a really large document, when I scroll, the first 2 rows do not move. Okay, and that's it. Number 4, set the cells A1 through M17 to be the print area for this worksheet. Now, you can go to A1 and go all the way across to M and go down to 17. You can do that. However, on the test, because it is timed and you want to save time, any little shortcut that you can learn to make your life a little bit easier is helpful. So I'm going to teach you a shortcut. In this box right here, which is called the name box, you can type A1. Then you're going to type colon and then M17. When you hit enter on your keypad, everything will already be selected for you. Next, what you're going to do is we're going to set the print area for this worksheet. So let's go to page layout. Next, click on the drop down box under print area and choose set print area. And as a review, what that does is if you were to go to print this document, the only thing that would print is the area that we had selected, which was A1 through M17. Let's go back here. And the task is completed, so let's click Next. All right, so this one wants you to add the fill color icon to the quick access toolbar. This is a quick one. This is your fill color icon. It's the paint bucket. You right click on it and then you click add to the quick access toolbar. And you'll notice that it pops up right here. Basically, in the quick access toolbar, you can add icons that you use frequently. Let's click next. Set the current worksheet to repeat the top 2 rows and the first column to repeat on every page when the worksheet is printed. So, this is very different from freeze panes because freeze panes, it freezes the rows and the columns when you're scrolling and looking at the document. What we're about to do is it is going to continuously print the top 2 rows and the first column on every sheet that's printed so that you don't have to go all the way back to the first page to figure out what you're looking at. Let me demonstrate. So, let's see. Click on page layout. Go to print titles. Now you'll get this dialog box right here. And I want you to notice that there are 2 areas, rows to repeat at top and columns to repeat at left. So, what does our task want us to do? The first thing it wants us to do is to repeat the top 2 rows. So let's go ahead and do that. You're going to click on this little arrow right here, and you are going to select row 1 and row 2. When you do that, you go back to the arrow and it takes you back to the dialog box. Next, the second part of the task was to also print the first column. So right here, we're going to choose columns to repeat at the left, click on the arrow, and simply select column A. Click on the arrow to go back to the dialog box and click OK. Now what that does, so that you can see what it would look like, is you go to File, Print, and here are the 2 rows at the top and the column to the left. But now look what happens when it's just 1 page. If it was multiple pages, then you would see that the same 2 rows repeated on every page and the same column on the left repeated on every page. All right, so let's go back. And we're going to click next. We're almost there, guys. Number 7, perform an accessibility check on the current workbook. Rename the first warning instance to January and the second to forecasting. You would go to the backstage view, and if you remember anything that you've learned from Word, PowerPoint, and Outlook, whenever you hear backstage view, that should automatically mean to you that you have to click File. And guys, this is our backstage view. So what you're going to do is, where it says check for issues, click on the drop down arrow. And you're going to choose the second option, check accessibility. When you do that, you'll notice warnings popping up on the right hand side. You're going to click on this arrow and it'll open it up. Now, what does it want us to do? It wants us to rename the first warning instance to January. Basically, the warning is letting us know that the sheets do not have a name. So for sheet 1, you should see a little drop down arrow here. You're going to click on that. And then you are going to choose rename sheet. When you do that, you'll notice that sheet 1 is selected for you, and you simply type January. Next, hit enter on your keyboard. And you'll notice that sheet 1 disappears from the warning. Now let's repeat that process with sheet 2, this time giving sheet 2 the name forecasting. And hit enter on your keyboard. And there you have it. Task number 7 is complete. Let's move on. For this task, view the current worksheet in Page Layout View. While in Page Layout View, add the sheet name to the right side header. No problem. So what you're going to do is click on the View tab. Then click on Page Layout. And when you click on Page Layout, you'll notice when you place your mouse over the document, you'll have your header, and it's split into 3 sections. So what it wants us to do is add sheet name to the right side header. This is the right side header. Click in there. When you click in there, these are the options that are presented to you in the ribbon, and you are going to choose sheet name. When you're done with that, click anywhere in the document and you're done. Split the worksheet into 2 sections between rows 11 and 12. Now, as a review, when you split a worksheet, it is allowing you to view the same worksheet in 2 different, let's say, windows. So the split will occur above the row that you select. So right now it wants us to do the split between rows 11 and 12. So guys, you would select row 12 because remember what I just said. The split occurs above the row that you select. All right, so view and then hit split. So now you'll see this line that appears between rows 11 and 12. That means I can scroll and I can see the same exact document. All right, next. Import the 112 class schedule.csv file from Geometrics templates folder as a table to the current worksheet. Okay, comma separated values. That's what CSV stands for, guys. So if we're going to import it, I'm so sorry, guys. Here we go. Data. Sorry. You are going to choose the data tab, and right here it says from text /CSV comma separated value. You are going to click on that. Next, we are going to navigate to your Geometrics templates folder. And this is where you will find that file, the 112 class schedule CSV file. You will select it, then click import. Okay, so now this happened with a lot of you. You were able to go in, but you couldn't see the load button at the bottom. And the reason why that happened is because this window is too large. So we are going to shrink it down, and then I'm going to move it up. And guess what? There's load right here. Click on it. And voila, there's your table. Let's move on. Next, add the file name as a header to the current worksheet. Then add the current date to the left side of the footer. All right, no problem. So what we have to do is we have to go into the header. Sorry, I got distracted. So what you guys are going to do is, now remember, there's different ways that you could have seen the header. One is by going to the page layout view, and then you'll see the header here. But that's not how I want to show you. I want you to go back to home, and then what you're going to see is I'm going to show you the page layout tab. Click on your dialog box launcher, and when you click on the dialog box launcher, at the top it says header footer. Okay, now it wants you to add the file name as the header. When you add the file name as the header, this is where you would select. It says header right here. Click the drop down, and this is the file name, 132 classes by month. The second part is to add the current date to the left side of the footer. So what you would do is you would select custom footer, and this is the left side, and you're adding the current date. Guys, this is the icon for the date. Click OK. Click OK. And you're done. Moving on. Next, add fitness, classes, location as tags to the current workbook. Then add Uptown Athletic Club as the company for the workbook. So, one more time, we are going to the Backstage view, and we do that by clicking on File. And here are your document properties. So the first one that we're going to address is the one where it's asking you to enter fitness, classes, location as your tags. So you'll find tags on the right side. Click there, and then you are going to type fitness, semicolon, space, classes, semicolon, space, location. Next, it wants you to add Uptown Athletic Club as the company for the workbook. Now, you don't see anything here that has the word company. So what you have to do is, at the bottom, you have to click on the link that says Show All Properties. When you do that, you're able to specify the company name. So now we can type Uptown Athletic Club. Let's do that now. Okay, so we've entered fitness, classes, and location as the tags, and now we've entered Uptown Athletic Club as the company name. Click off of that, and now click Next. For this one, it says navigate to the instructor 4 named range, then change the contents of the cell to Charles. Now, what some people would probably try to do is go to find and try to look for it that way. Easiest way is go to your named box, click on the drop down arrow, and look guys, this is where you can find instructor 4. When you clicked on it, or when you selected it, it automatically puts you in cell A5, and it wants you to change it to Charles. Click off of it and click Next. Save the current file as a PDF to the Gmetrics templates folder, and you're going to accept the default options for the file name and settings. No problem. Go to File. You're going to go to Save As. Go to Browse. Make sure you choose your Gmetrics templates folder, and before you hit Save, make sure you change the Save As type. You have to change it to PDF. When you do that, you click Save, and I get this little pop-up. I just ignore it. I just click off of it, and that's fine. And that's it. Hit next. We're on the home stretch, the last 3. On the current worksheet, set the row height for row 2 to 30 and the width of columns F and G to 12. All right, so let's deal with the row height first. Okay, so you are going to first select row 2 because it's row 2 that you're changing. And you're going to go to Format. And notice, guys, we're on the Home tab, okay? Go to Format, select Row Height, and type 30. Hit OK. Next, you're going to change the width of columns F and G. So, hover your mouse just over F and G to select them. And we're going to go right back to where we were before, the drop down arrow next to Format, but this time we're going to choose column width and we're going to type 12 and hit OK. Just click off of it and click next. Okay, so for this one, number 16, it's asking us to please display all the formulas on the current worksheet. Now, right now you're looking at the worksheet and you're just seeing the numbers, okay? And if you wanted to know if the person used formulas, or maybe you used a formula and you can't remember which formula you used, yes, we could click on it. Let's see. Let's go here. I'm just scrolling down. I could click on the cell and see the formula there, but that's not what it's asking us to do. So what you have to do is click on the Formulas tab at the top, and over here on the right hand side, you'll see an icon that says Show Formulas. Click on that. Now it'll show you all of the formulas that was used in this particular worksheet. Click Next. Last one, guys. You are going to find all instances of the word yoga on the class schedule worksheet. Then change the first instance of the word yoga to hot yoga. Okay, so we're going to go to Find and Select and click on Find. And we're going to type the word yoga here. And it wants us to find all instances. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to choose Find All. And you'll see right here at the bottom, it located 2. See, 2 cells found. And it wants us to change the first one to hot yoga. Now, for this exercise, I did it both ways and it marked it correct both ways. The first way I did was, since it was already selected, I simply went here and I typed hot yoga, right? See, let me show you. So what I did was I just went in here and I typed hot yoga and it gave it to me and I got the point. The other way that you can do it is, let me go back here and start from scratch, find all. The other way that you can do it and still get credit is click on Replace, and then you are going to type hot yoga. And then just click Replace. Do not click Replace all. Just click Replace. And it did it for you. And click OK. So both ways gives you the credit. And you click Next. And that's it. So after you're done, you're supposed to click Submit Test. Are you sure you want to grade and submit the practice test? Click OK. And then click OK. Yay! And that's how you get a perfect score of 1,000 on your post assessment. So guys, I hope this review was very helpful for you. Look forward to these. I will be doing them weekly, and give me some feedback. Let me know if this worked for you.